Okay, so for today's very late recorded video, I have Koaki Meiru's, and we're kind of getting back into the swing of things with the ranked PvP videos, and I'm going to be doing more live videos over the course of the coming weeks and just trying to get back into the flow of doing that type of content on the channel. But I, like many other people, went into the newest box, it's Revolution Beginning, that's the one, and Koaki Meiru's seemed to be the standout deck for the most tier 1 meta relevant. I'm pretty sure today, like Yummy, Decayed, a bunch of other content creators of course put out their videos on Koa'ki Meiru, and today I have mine, and this is the most scuffed, rushed build of Koa'ki Meiru's you will probably ever find on the internet. I went through and spent maybe a bit too much on the newest box and managed to get pretty much everything from there for Koa'ki Meiru's, as you can see by the fact we do have the 3 diamond cores of Koa'ki Meiru's. In this we also have the Rook Lord, but I was missing out on this guy, on Koa'ki Meiru Urnite, and I had one of them, and then I thought, you know what, let's go in with some gems, let's try and pull this, and I didn't get it, so I put some of the wallet down, and I managed to pull one more, which is why this build is so kind of all over the place, and why it's not really running what you'd call standard ratios in terms of Koa'ki Meiru's, because really you'd want to be running 3 Urnites and then either one of Sandman or one of Rook Lord. You don't really want to be running both, but for me I found Rook Lord has been incredibly beneficial and like way better than some other cards in this. We're running 2 copies of Maximus, which of course is the main boss monster the Koa'ki Meiru's had for a while now, and this guy really was just insane for bringing himself up very easily and then blowing up a back row, then you tribute him off and be able to summon out another Rook Lord, and then use Rook Lord's effect to pop 2 more back row, 2 more cards on the field, and then you just kind of go in and hopefully try and OTK. Now this deck, because of the lack of a 3rd Urnite, at least in my build, it doesn't OTK too consistently. It's definitely a very strong swarming deck, you could definitely get a lot of removal on board, but there is the lack of OTK presence available. Also we're running the Koa'ki Meiru Wall, just because this one is the spell card negator. I haven't really found use for this guy. Really I've been more focused on the back row rather than on like the traps rather than spell cards. Obviously if you come against heroes, then this card is going to be a godsend against masked heroes, against mask change, but I haven't been able to use Wall just yet against that deck. We also have Koa'ki Meiru Prototype, which again is one card I've not used, not been able to see much play yet. Of course, if I had the 3rd Urnite, I'd probably maybe replace this with it, but this card just seems really good by being able to replace a Koa'ki Meiru with at least a token on the field, so that you at least have something to protect yourself with if one would be destroyed during the end phase. So that's really cool as well, and again, I don't have 3 Canadians, so we're running 2 Canadians plus 1 Floodgate Trap Hole. The Floodgate has come in clutch a lot of times, so I'm glad I did actually decide to put it in. And yeah, so there's a couple of videos, there's a couple of replays in this video. I tried to get a decent variety of duels against certain like different types of decks. There's some heroes in there, there's some Dark Magician I think as well, there's probably some other duels in there. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head what we kind of went over and what we went against, but this deck is probably going to be the deck that I take to King of Games. I think it seems like it'd be the easiest one to get there with, at least for very early on in the season. But core reinforcement as well, before I go, pretty decent trap again, not one I really had to use. It was mainly the combo of getting out Maximus and then Rook Lord and just being able to completely wipe away the opponent's field very easily. And of course the thing with Diamond Core Koa'ki Meiru, again this explanation is all over the place, but this was a lifesaver. I completely didn't realize as well that its effect worked in the end phase. You know, instead of like the Koa'ki Meiru's being destroyed, they wouldn't be. I thought that they actually read as saying they'd be sent to the graveyard, so I'm glad the Diamond Core kind of exists, because it just means that they stay around for one more turn, especially when you have a big guy like Maximus and Rook Lord on board. You don't really want that card going, especially when you've already potentially banished that Iron Core to summon out Maximus anyway. So enjoy the replays, and I'll see you all in the next Duel Links video. See you then. Okay, so our first duel going up against against Kaiba. So I'm playing the Kiza, playing balance of course with this build, and we're going up against a Fabled Dark World player, which is kind of nice because this is my first game on after watching YT Dan's video about Fabled Dark World. So we're going to be setting our Floodgate face down, so now our Koa'ki Meiru Urnite, going again for a special summon for the Sandman, and then ditching our 2 Iron Cores just to keep those guys on board for the turn, playing Hatred to bounce our back row back, which at that point I was kind of worried, again double Duel Links to send that back. Raven and Lucent coming out and not opting for a synchro summon, which was kind of He only has 2 cards in his extra deck, so I did wonder whether this Kaiba like didn't have the entire deck fully built yet, as to why he didn't go into a one big synchro monster, but it might have made more sense to at least try and just clear out my board completely, so I couldn't go in for maybe summoning Rooklord. Maybe that was the guy's idea with that. Able to summon out our Maximus, banishing, while he's killing his Lucent and being able to attack over his Raven, and then just leaving the board open. Thankfully, Maximus' effect isn't a hard once per duel, and just likes to go straight in again, killing out that Raven, and taking the first W of this video. So really, really easy duel. You know, in hindsight, like that Floodgate going to the graveyard wasn't a big deal at all, which is not as big a deal as I thought it was, but still a really, really easy first duel with this deck. Okay, our next duel, going up against an Arcana player. I believe this is a Dark Magician player. I don't think we got too much out of this duel, to be fair, to actually see whether Dark Magician would be able to compete against Koa'ki Meiru, but I doubt it. Kind of a shame because I really do like Dark Magicians, and I think once we get the new support, I'm going to be playing them a ton. Him start first again, going for Magician's Rod, searching out for Dark Magic Curtain, which would have probably had a big impact on the game, setting one face down, and we just open with the nuts. Like, if you open Diamond Core plus, you know, at least like one of the Iron Cores, then you're kind of insane, searching out for that second Iron Core, and just going in. Here is something I completely didn't realize. I'll just pause this real quick. He chained his Super Rush Headlong, and I completely forgot that obviously Diamond Core would have made it so that if we attacked into the Magician's Rod, we still wouldn't have died. So I was kind of playing around it with this move, but regardless, we still managed to get the OTK off by summoning 2 Maximuses and just going in for 6,000 points of damage, which is kind of insane. And I don't think the Arcana was really expecting that, but still, this deck has, even like I was saying in the whole just talking about the deck, the whole discussion, whatever you want to call it, I was saying that there wasn't too much OTK potential, but when you get the right opening hand, it is very easy to do. Okay, our next duel going against the Shizu Ishtar. I don't remember which one this is. I know there's some hero replays in this video, but I don't remember exactly what deck Shizu was running, so hopefully this will jog my memory. We're going first, second. Okay, we're running Balance. Shizu, I think, was running Fairies. Is it that one? No, it wasn't that one. Okay, no, they're going first. So break. Oh, okay, this is the control deck. Okay. So yeah, so again, we're using that Diamond Core, going to search out for the Iron Core, and again, we're just going to try and banish that back row real quickly. So going out for the Koaki Meiru Maximus, we do get Canadian, but thankfully we have Rooklord in hand, so we can go for the double back row destruction. Super Rush Headlong, again, this is probably where it's come into play, which is able to attack in with it and not have our Rooklord destroyed, which is really, really nice. And Shizu just scoops, because at that point, what can that deck do? Like, other than, like, if she drew DD Assailant, that would probably been how she would have been able to get around that, but apart from that, very easy duel. And next up, we have an Aster Phoenix. So I believe this is the Destiny Hero deck. There might be 2 replays actually of Destiny Heroes, I'm not too sure. But this is definitely Destiny Heroes going second, so I was kind of anticipating a lot of set mask changes with this, but I don't think we actually ran into them. So let's see what happened here. Both running Balance, as you know, Destiny Heroes would. Okay, what's he going to do? He starts off with a Celestial and 2 in the back row. Thankfully, we're doing to Rooklord, and I kind of misplayed here. So I think I did anyway. So what I did is I believe I banished that, and then I searched up. Okay, searched up for another Iron Core, and then I think I summoned it. Yeah, so I summoned out Sandman with the intention to summon out Rooklord, which obviously you can't do. I completely forgot that Rooklord was just a straight tribute summon, straight normal summon to get that effect off. But I thought it was like a additional special summon kind of thing, but it's not. So I kind of not wasted, because this will kind of come into play a little bit in a minute. But still, plays Canada to flip my Rooklord face down, not Rooklord, my thing face down, which was okay. Summon Maximus to banish that back row. It was a Forbidden Chalice, so Aster was able to at least take less damage from my Maximus's attack, which is okay. Again, drawing into a Celestial, attacking the face, and we have a Canadian to chain, then responding with another Canadian from the grave. Set up for the defensive. We do have Maximus's effect as well, which we use to get rid of the back row. Rooklord coming in to clear out the way in the monster card zones, and then again for an OTK with 5,800 points of damage on board, only in the 3,000 Maximus. This deck is just crazy. Like, this deck is very similar to Master Heroes. I think that was like a very even matchup because they both have a very similar strategy. And finally, our last replay. Can't remember exactly what this is. This is against Bastions. This might be against Heroes again. I'm not too sure. It's Miguel. So we'll see exactly what Bastion has to offer with this duel. I can't remember what it was, but let's see. Come on. Okay, we're going first. Nice. Which means I don't think we overextended too much. I can't remember. What did we do? Let's have a look. Any hint of bash and skill? There wasn't a case, so we opened fairly decently. I decided to just go for the set pass, just because I didn't know what he was running at. So I'm taking out a Canada, and again another Destiny Hero deck. Okay, this is where I was kind of worrying, because of course, opening pretty strongly game with 2 back row, that could have been easy access to Mask Change, and again could have kind of really not been in a favourable position, especially since I didn't have Maximus, so I only had Rook Lord, so I couldn't do any damage. Here I misplayed. Or not really misplayed. So he played Wall of D, and I activated Sandman's effect to tribute itself to negate the activation if you do destroy it. So obviously this meant that my Koa'ki Meiru Knight was able to at least survive on board, and I could have just not done that. I could have just taken the damage. My monster would still have been on board regardless. He did have a Canada face down. We were able to chain Canada to get at least some more defense presence on board, but it wasn't really going to matter too much, because I believe he summons out, yeah, he plays Destiny Draw, discarding out his Decider, summoning out a Celestial, and is able to kind of go in and just deal a little bit of damage. But thankfully we draw into the Diamond Core, enabled us to search out for our Maximus, and just able to go for the big OTK play, even though we're not going to OTK on this turn. Maximus banishing the back row, which was a Storming, which is really nice. Rook Lord going to kill the front row, and then again attacking for 28. And I believe Bash and Scoops here because he can't do anything else. He's being cool. He's letting the game play out exactly how it should be, and then that is our win. Try out this deck. Like, even if you don't have all of the cards, even if you are missing an Knight or you're missing something else, definitely try out this deck, because it has got a lot of flexibility with how you can play it, and how you don't necessarily need the exact ratios for the most optimum build to be very successful with the deck. Thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts, question down below, and I'll see you all in the next Duel Links video. See you then.